So, what can a college degree really get us? We already talked about some earlier. Job opportunities, specifically those requiring a degree for licensure. A college degree is proven to increase income over time, shows trainability, shows persistence, sticking with something long term. And college is limited to textbook content and not necessarily real world applications. And you'll find this more with some career choices than others on how much of your undergraduate content you actually use on a day-to-day basis. Drawbacks to a college degree. These are some big ones. These are oftentimes overlooked. You always hear the glamorous stuff, especially when you're in high school. You hear all the glamour about, oh, college, it's so good, it's so great. And then you go and you tour colleges and you see these ambassador type people showing you around like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever. This is so cool. You're going to love this. Well, they never mention the drawbacks to a college degree. And when the drawbacks come up, there's always a solution, or so they say there's a solution. There's not always a solution, but they're going to tell you there is because they want you to go. And that's the bottom line. The ambassadors are salespeople, and coming out of high school, your school system looks good to others when a large percentage of high school students attend college and are successful. I digress. Drawbacks to college. The opportunity cost, which is cost plus lost income, because you're not going to be working as much, plus time, generally 4 years for an undergraduate degree. Because you're not working as much, if you so choose to have a job during college, the income's going to be limited. College requires discipline. You need social discipline. You can't be partying every night. Work-life balance. And it does require effort. Believe it or not, you actually have to study a little bit in college. If you show up to class, you can probably get C's. If you open your textbook once, you can maybe squeak out a B. But if you want A's in most disciplines, you actually need to put forth a little bit of effort. Another drawback is college is not capped at 4 years. A lot of people nowadays are taking more than 4 years for a 4-year program, and that brings a whole nother set of problems. Even worse than taking more than 4 years to graduate, you might not graduate at all, and that's a really expensive time, really expensive party, really expensive experience if you're paying for college credits and you don't have anything to show for it at the end. And ultimately, guys, it's a job. You need to treat it like one. I definitely didn't treat my undergraduate degree as seriously as my graduate program, but treat it like a job. Your future self will thank you. So back to opportunity cost. Remember, this is the time plus the lost wages. So the true cost of college, it's going to be the tuition plus the 4 years in school plus our lost wages. So we could say tuition is going to cost us $60,000, and then the other expenses, our housing, our meals, all that good stuff, is $30,000. Again, these are in-state numbers for cheap colleges in the Midwest. Tuition $60,000, housing $30,000, and then we could say we were making $35,000 per year. That's about $15 an hour, give or take, a little overtime maybe, but $15 an hour, pretty reasonable. So 4 years of lost wages at $35,000 a year, that brings us to $140,000 in lost wages. So not only are we paying $90,000 for school, but we have $140,000 in work we didn't complete because we were studying or should have been studying. It might have been partying, but we'll say we were studying. So our total opportunity cost, 4 years, that's if we graduate on time, and $230,000, almost $250,000 in 4 years. That's what college costs. Most people do not figure in the lost wages, the true opportunity cost of college. College is extremely expensive. Cannot stress how extremely expensive college is. So let's say you graduate making $55,000 a year, because in most places, you're going to make between $35,000 and $75,000 per year. Exceptions, California, on the coast, you're going to make a little more. Cost of living is a little higher. Another story for another time. Let's say you make $55,000 a year. The break-even point versus making $35,000 per year is 20 years, or age 42. If you go to a private school and those costs go way, way up, your break-even point might be a little closer to 25 years, or age 47. That's unbelievable to think that you can be in your 40s and you haven't even seen the advancements from a college degree. Now, keep in mind, this doesn't account for any interest on your student loans, which would make the break-even point longer, or pay raises, which would make the time shorter, considering that those with a college education would likely be in positions where they can seek advancements and make more money. But either way, you're talking 20 to 25 years for a break-even point.